And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome this morning to the Genesis Block. As you can see, we have a whole room full of amazing guests. We have our normal mods. What's going on, Miss Charlene? What's going on, Jacumi? How y'all doing this morning?
Hey man, we doing blacktastic right now.
Blacktastic. So listen, everybody out on Twitter, make sure y'all tweet this out. Everybody on Clubhouse, make sure you share it. Everybody on Facebook, make sure you tell somebody, tell a friend, and every single person on Twitter that's watching it visually, make sure you retweet out the visual stream as well. This morning, of course, on the Genesis Block, we are here Monday, July the 18th at 12 o'clock p.m. This is a little bit later than usual, but that's because we got some amazing special guests from Stellify, and we'll introduce them a little bit later. But right now, Jacumi, what have you been seeing out there in the Bitcoin space, brother?
Man, we've been seeing some bounces. There's a couple indicators that I follow. One of them actually put in a bottom for Bitcoin. Now, I don't necessarily just follow any indicator. However, this indicator has been right a lot of times. So we'll see if this is truly the bottom. I can't say for sure. You know, we still got more black swan events that could occur. So don't say that I told you to buy like right now. But Bitcoin is bouncing as we speak. I will say that.
Well, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I saw it bounce to 22.
We almost at 23 now, I think. Somewhere close.
Yeah, I saw it bounce up to 22. We almost at 23. Y'all know I don't care about price. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. I am getting some feedback really quick from somewhere. I don't know where I'm getting that feedback from, but we good. We good. I think we good. The other thing, Miss Charlene. So tell us what's going on right now. Are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. You hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So tell us what's going on in Africa right now from a Bitcoin perspective.
Hey, here's the thing. What we're seeing in almost every African country is that folks are using Bitcoin as a lifeline, particularly in countries like Nigeria, where there's significant currency devaluation. They're using Bitcoin to save money. They're using Bitcoin to sell their products and start businesses. It's amazing what's happening overseas. And we can learn a whole lot about what we see in Africa, about the value and use case of Bitcoin here in the United States.
Right. And that to me, that's always very expressive. If somebody make sure everybody mutes their computer. Check. Okay, I'm not hearing myself anymore. Good stuff. We thought we was perfect. I thought we was perfect. We didn't get it all the way perfect. But here's the thing. So, Miss Charlene, the cool part is that what we're seeing in Africa definitely can be the precursor for what we're seeing, or we can start seeing in the rest of the world. Because what we know is, number one, Africa has the youngest populace in the world, right? And so when you're talking about future, you always look at what the young people are doing. It wasn't old people on Facebook. Now I am but old people on Facebook. But when Facebook started, it was young people first, right? Now, the young people have moved on to the TikToks and all of this other thing, and that's the same thing. Bitcoin adoption with younger people gives me an extreme promise as far as where the demand is going to come from in the future. So I definitely love hearing what's going on. Everybody, this is Charlene Federico from Bitcoin in Nigeria. And of course, we got Jacumi, as I always say, Mr. Jacumi, the super dad, father of 5, husband of 1. If I ever said anything different, his wife would kill me. But let's get on. Listen, this show is we had to talk about Bitcoin, of course, at first, but this show is about Stellify. Like, I don't know if you all have heard of Stellify before. Some of you all might have seen the #1 morning show in all of the world, in the universe. I like to speak, The Breakfast Club. And they came on there, Mr. Lamine Zarad, Stacey Tisdale, and of course one of the hosts of the Breakfast Club, Angela Yee. They are partnering in this company called Stellify. So welcome everybody. How y'all doing today, man? What's going on, Angela, Lamine, Stacey? How you all doing?
Good. How are you? We're doing amazing. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So I have a quick listen. When I was doing my research and studying, once I saw y'all on the Breakfast Club and talked to Stacey, her amazing self, and Lamine back in the back, I have a lot of questions because this seems amazing to me what you guys are doing by allowing people to start building up their credit. So Lamine, I know you're the founder of Stellify. Can you help us understand understand what Stellify is, and I'll pull your website up as we talk about it. What
That
is
sounds good.
Stellify?
That sounds good, Lamar. First of all, thank you. Thank you again for having us. We're really excited. So Stellify at a very high level is a bill payment platform that builds your credit, right? So we identified an opportunity to build your credit without really disrupting what you do, without forcing you into new debt, giving you a credit card of any kind, and really adding things that you don't need to add to your credit profile. But instead, what we're doing is we're capitalizing on the payments you're already making every day, right? Your rent, your utilities, you got a gym membership, subscriptions of any kind. And what we're doing is we're paying those things for you and then collecting what you owe us back, and therefore creating a credit transaction that is reportable. And more importantly, unlike other competitors that just report rent, for example, we report all those things. And the data propagates into every single FICO model. Most people don't know this, but there are many different models for credit, especially in the FICO world. There's also Vantage. Our data propagates into every single model, meaning that any lender that will ever look at your profile and evaluate you for credit worthiness will be able to see that series of points that we built for you on your profile across board.
So you know what's so interesting to me about this is something you just said. You said we do it for you. So you basically are cheating for people who are not really great with paying their bills. Is that what's really going on here?
There's some element of that, right? So I think it's important to admit that most of us, we have lives happening, right? We have things that are much more important than having to pay bills and thinking about money. We have families, we have jobs, we have a bunch of other stuff. And so what we've said is that let's first and foremost focus on making your payments on time. And we'll basically put those things on autopilot. Once you set up your stuff with us, all those dates are set up, you don't have to worry about it, right? And because we're remitting those payments, we're constantly validating that you have enough money to cover those payments. We kind of take away that headache and the stress of having to remember this. But that's not the most important part, right? That's just part of it. That gives you, peace of mind of sorts. The most important part is that we can then take that, history of payment and then record it, something that otherwise be completely invisible to the bureaus.
Man, and listen, that part to me is it. You put it on autopilot. Here's what's so funny. Not only do you pay the bills on time.
See, I don't hear audio.
You said you don't hear my audio?
Did your audio drop? Can you guys hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
We hear everybody. Who said what happened with your audio, Jacoby?
I hear you. It's you.
We all can hear each other. I don't know what's going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
back.
It had dropped for a quick second, but we good to go now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think it might be your connection, Jacoby. So
Yeah,
listen,
we good to go.
Yes. So hold on. I'm gonna just drop you real quick, Jacoby, because maybe your connection is bad. I'm gonna just drop you really fast. So let me just drop you. So here's the thing that I wanted to ask you guys. What made you guys come up with this idea? Because like I said, you automated the system. Not only are you paying those bills on time, not only are you paying their bills on time, not the one bill on time, but you're also making sure that all of their bills are paid on time. And you're basically, when you submit it up to the credit bureaus, they get that knock, but then they get all the other bills that they paid. So it's almost like you fixing their credit without them having to do anything. And I guess in this microwave world, it makes it really easy for people to do that. So Stacy, like, what brought you to this? Because you have been a professional in the financial literacy space for a very long time. Like, as far as financial literacy, just finances, period. Like, you like a legend out here in these streets. I mean, people talk to me about you all the time. So what brought you to it? What made you very intrigued about what's going on with this product?
Stacy, are you muted?
I was inspired by Lamine. I was inspired by Angela.
Oh, she's no longer on. She dropped on Twitter.
I see her on here, but
can you hear me?
Stacy, I think she dropped on her Twitter. Maybe her phone died.
oh yeah, she dropped on
So, can you hear
Clubhouse.
me?
It says.
No. I'm gonna.
Oh, they said,
Going
Lamar, you're the
back.
only one that's heard on Clubhouse. All the other audio is dead.
Oh, see, this is what I'm saying. This is crazy. This is
Did
what I
you
was.
did you hear me, Lamar?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, they said that right now you're the only one that's being
Can you
heard on
hear me?
Clubhouse.
Really?
And Ryan said he's been calling you to let you know.
But yeah, if he's calling me, he's calling me on the phone that I'm using to talk
Yeah,
on
you
Twitter.
can't answer.
Yeah. So I can't. Okay, I hear you guys
Okay.
on Clubhouse. I hear you. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to Clubhouse and make sure. But Stacy dropped on Twitter. She's no longer on Twitter anymore.
Kumar, I
she's
don't have your audio.
Yeah. Can you,
Okay.
Stacy?
Now Charlene says she thinks Twitter is okay. I'm just reading the
I got
chat.
you.
Yeah, I think you're fine on Twitter. It's just Stacy dropped.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Can you
that's
hear
what I'm
me?
saying. Stacy dropped.
Yeah, we just need to request and add her as a speaker.
Let's see, Stacy.
Yeah. Well. Listen. On Clubhouse, I don't know what's going on. It was working early.
Let's keep it pushing with Twitter and
Yeah. We just gonna keep it Twitter.
Okay.
So Clubhouse, I just got hop on Twitter.
yeah, and YouTube is good to go as well. So we got 2 out of 3, not bad. It's
Okay. And we can hear Stacy on here, right, Stacy? Or maybe
I
not.
don't think she can hear us at all.
Okay.
Yeah, Twitter.
Yeah,
But
can
I
you
would-
guys hear me?
But speaking to what Lamine just said too, I was gonna
I
say
hear you. You
on
don't
my
hear
credit
me?
report, I have like 2 blemishes, and that is for my Bloomingdale's charge card because I think I paid it late like twice by accident. You know, it wasn't that I didn't have the money, but everything is through my email, and so I just accidentally just did it, and that was the blemishes that's on there. But with something like Stellar Fi, I wouldn't have to worry about something like that, and that really does affect your credit score so much.
Right.
It
And
really does.
And that's really what's crazy, because that's what I was talking about to Lamine about beforehand, right? Before I was thinking like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that that we are living in a system that is very oppressive. Because it's not that like Angela don't. It's not like she don't have the money. It's not like she don't hasn't paid before on time. But you have one knock on your credit, and it drops your score tremendously. And to
It's
me,
from 2016 too, by the way. I was like, come on, guys. Like,
right. It's like it's just not fair. To me, it's not fair at all. And I'm like, it's kind of, I don't know. And I think what you guys are doing by basically kind of forcing everybody to be on time. I guess the question is though, now we've put all of the onus on you. So what happens if your systems mess up and let's say we don't have uptime? What happens to people's payments if you knock a million people sign up and then the system goes down and you can't pay everybody's bills at the right time because you use an automated system? What happens at that point?
Man, that's a tough question that you're asking here. It is a real risk, right? And so the way we operate is that we have redundancies, meaning that we have backup systems. So if server goes down and anything fails, we have a way to come up and pay your bill. I mean, if you think about it, every single financial technology platform that manages your money has the same risk. If they go down, you kind of screwed. And so this is why redundancies are very important. But these days, believe it or not, with invention of Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, all of those problems have been, I wouldn't say 100% solved, but solved for most part, right? There are servers all over the world. There's a way to switch quickly, and all these platforms are very what's called resilient, meaning that it's really tough to bring them down all at once. There's going to be a portion that operates. But that said, if you look in our FAQs, that's a promise we make to our customers because we know it's a real concern, right? Look, what happens if you don't pay my bill on time? Our promise is that if we screw up and we don't pay your bill on time, we're going to cover every single late fee, and we're going to make sure that it's paid on time.
And that to me that's a good promise, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you, because if it ever happens and you have to bail them out, at least you are already thinking that way. Because I understand, I'm a software developer as well, so I get it from a redundancy standpoint, creating microservices that back each other up, making sure you're not all in the same platform. But I always think about it from the standpoint of, if I'm not paying it and I put it in your hands, you better be good, brother. Mm-hmm. You better be good. So Stacey, are you back with us? Can
I
you hear
hope
us?
so. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah. Here's the
I have
problem.
so much to say.
Yes, and listen, I gave you the most amazing introduction because I
I
really
know. I missed all of it.
Yeah, he did.
like
Shout out today, Lamar.
it just it literally completely dropped you off of Twitter, which is crazy. I don't know what's going on. So,
I don't know either.
but welcome back. So, what brought you to the platform, being such an amazing veteran in the space and understanding financial literacy, understanding like you've just been a great advocate for financial literacy, especially in the Black community. So, what brought you to Stellify and made you really love what's going on?
I was inspired. The same thing that brings us to anyone, to anything. I've known Lamine for a long time. I've known Angela for a long time and just watch her every day. And we've kind of gone on this journey together to help people create healthy relationships with money. Because throughout my career, I've seen how much pain money causes people. Few things work as simply, right? Don't spend more than you have. Don't borrow more than you can afford to pay back. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. But money, number one cause of depression, leading cause of substance abuse, leading cause of marital trouble. So there's a lot more going on than dollars and cents. And something we were talking about earlier, when it comes to credit and debt, they actually used to put people in jail for having credit problems. There's this whole stigma around debt and credit, and there's so much shame around it, and people don't do anything about it. But when you look at it, the number one reason that people have debt problems are medical issues, unemployment, change of job status, and divorce. Debt doesn't make you a bad person, but we still have this whole mindset. So working with this amazing group of people to provide a resource to help people, one, flip that mindset, but also throughout the years, you can just see it's the number one problem. You have over 132 million Americans with poor or no credit. You need credit in order to exist in this country. And a lot of people can bridge their tough financial times with a credit card or something. But when you look at the reality that the Federal Reserve says Americans couldn't come up with $400 to cover an emergency expense, a lot of us don't even have that bridge. So you shouldn't have to have credit to build credit. When you talk to people, you see this is the number one problem. Paying bills on time is the number one problem. So it's not what brought me to it, it's how could I not?
Right. And I think that right there to me is a very, 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 very key thing you just said. Like, how can you not?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Lamar,
I can't hear Lamar.
Lamar's muted on
so now you can hear me.
on Spaces.
Lamar,
Yeah.
did you
Now we
miss
can hear
all
you.
that? That was from the heart.
No, I heard everything.
Good.
I heard everything. Yeah,
I heard it
everything.
too.
That's what I said. It's extremely somebody like make sure you put your computer on mute, whoever that is. I think it's Jakumi again. I added you back. And you gotta make sure you put your computer on mute. But no, I heard everything you said, and I think that passion or whatever is the reason why I'm so interested in this platform. So, Angela, break this down for me. How does this work? How does the system actually work?
Well, I feel like I don't want to say anything wrong. I feel like that's more of a Lamine question. But the way that it works is, like he was saying earlier, there's a lot of bills that we pay that may not go towards your credit score. So it reports these scores to the three agencies. What is it? Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Equifax.
Yes. Right. And so even if you're paying your Netflix bill or your gym membership or your rent, things that normally won't count towards your credit, what they do is, and there's three different tiers. And, I would love for Lamine to break this down more. I do know, but I like when he does it. But what it does is that it can pay those bills for you on time. And basically it checks to make sure that the money is in your account to be able to pay those bills. And then it pays those bills for you. And then that counts towards your credit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was beautifully said, Angela. I don't know if I can add any value to this, but I'll try. I'll try anyway. Yeah. So, like Angela said, the three tiers, right? So it's really important to note each tier gives you access to more features. The way we operate as a business, because let's not forget, we are a business. We are a public benefit corporation, so we very much focused on helping folks, but we also want to make sure that we can, pay our employees too. And so we charge a membership fee to give you access to a number of different features, including credit management features, credit monitoring features, identity, security features, a number of other things. In a $499 plan, which is our lowest plan, you get access to a $500 spending line, meaning that you can add up to $500 in bills, and we'll pay them for you, and then we'll collect money back. And there are a number of other things. If you go to our pricing page, it's got a really detailed, breakdown of how we charge. Then our flagship plan is a $9.99 a month plan. And if you think about it, the value proposition here is radical, to say the least, because for $9.99, you can potentially have access to $25,000 line to add, bills. If you're a high spender, some people have these really large rent bills, for example. They can even add their mortgage. If they have multiple mortgages, we'll pay those things on their behalf.
Yeah, rent has definitely gone up a lot. So
Incredibly.
It sure has. Car payments, everything's going up, right? Especially in the inflation time. And we want to make sure that we stay up to with the times and make sure that we provide enough utility for our users. And then the last but not least, this hasn't launched yet, but $19.99 is coming. And that plan is really interesting. Not only can you pay your bills with a virtual card, you can also pay it with ACH. So basically, there's 100% coverage. There's no bill in the world that you can't add to our system with a $19.99 plan. And on top of that, you can add unlimited bills. And you have security attributes, identity. There's just cybersecurity coverage on your identity if someone exploits it up to $1 million. It really is a value-packed packet.
And you get free credit counseling. That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah,
That's
we have a
right.
partnership with the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, and they're going to give Stellarfi users a free one-on-one credit coaching session with a real live person. And that's a really important component of this as well.
Yeah, Lamine, here's my other question, because I'm going to ask you some hard questions. So
Let's
what
do it.
happens? What happens if you pay?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you pay it, right? You pay it, or Stellarfi pays your bills, and then you turn around and don't have the money there to pay Stellarfi back. Is there some type of APR associated with not paying Stellarfi back?
No, and I don't want to encourage anyone to do that, but there's no APR. So here's the way it works. What we do is we validate you have sufficient balance in your bank account. The bank account is real. It's not something you just funded. It has history with us, right? When you add our bills, what you're doing is actually submitting them for approval. Once we approve them, then we pay them. So we remove a lot of that risk of you not having money to pay us back. That said, stuff happens, right? And maybe you have a check that's outstanding, whatever it is. What we do is we work with you on getting that repayment, getting that balance off the books. Because ultimately, you don't want that. You don't want that hanging around, because that's not going to reflect well on your credit. We already have all your information. It's really tough to do real fraud, because guess what? If you're trying to screw us over, that's probably the most counterproductive things that you do, because we are quite literally connected to the bureaus, and your information will be reported pretty quickly. And we don't want to be doing that. And so we want to sort of make sure that you have sufficient money in your bank account and history of having funds. We pay that bill with certain probability of repayment, collect the money back from you, and then we report a positive payment history. And then we also eliminate the threat of getting non-sufficient funds if you pay them directly. Because if you had a bill that's linked to your account, for example, and you don't have enough money, the biller doesn't care. They're just going to try to pull the money anyway. We actually validate that you have sufficient money before we try to pull. So that way you don't incur NSFs, which can be a nuisance, right? And it can actually be really damaging if you have, just enough money in your bank account and the bank pulls it, and then there's a $25 overdraft, and boom, you're now in a negative and you're getting other fees. We try to eliminate that as well. Hopefully that answers the question.
No, listen. There was somebody over in the comments, Gayton Eaton President, said, "What's the interest rate, aka the catch?" And you explaining that made me go, man, I ain't even a catch. Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is an amazing. No, this is really a amazing idea. And to me, for those people out there that are trying to build their credit and trying to figure it out, here's my question: do you have something like this for weight loss as well? Can I just automate? Like, can I pay?
Sure that'll be
Can I pay you $4.99?
Look, I got to be honest with you.
Go ahead, Louise. I'm sorry.
And I was going to say that we've been building this thing, eating pizza, so I'm going to need to build something for myself for weight loss in the next couple of years.
Lamar, just a little credit 101. Why that on-time bill payment is so important is on-time bill payment is 35% of your total credit score. That is the biggest, largest component of your credit score. So that really, really hit the sweet spot about what's going to help people fight some of the things that we're fighting right now. We have, challenging economy. We have challenging inflation. Some of us groups are just challenged. And what I really want people to think about this, the way you fight all of that is with the higher credit score. So
Right.
This is really about arming yourself up. It's about beefing yourself up because, again, everything that, you and I talk about so much, discrimination in getting loans, paying higher interest rates for loans. Right now, everybody, the overall economy, you get the best stuff with the best credit score. End of story. It also even affects your employment possibilities because 43% of all employers, according to the United Human Resource Foundation, look at your credit profile to determine if they're going to hire you. And a lot of people don't make that connection either. So credit.
Yes.
Very important.
And even trying to buy a house, for your interest rate, you want to make sure you get the best interest rate you can possibly get. And so that comes down to your credit score as well. And I feel like it's really important to start working on those things now, even if you're like, all right, I'm not in the position to buy a house yet. It's important for you to get your credit score up so that when you are in the position, that part is done. Because I see a lot of people that are like, okay, I want to be able to do this, but I've never even checked my credit score, or it's not what it needs to be. Just start getting it ready now so that when it's time, you can move.
And she touched on something so important. It's not just buying a house, it's renting. I have a tenant in an apartment in New York City, and for me to even let her rent my apartment, the first thing that co-op board wants to see is her credit report.
Right. I had to have my dad co-sign for me when I got my first apartment out of college. And
your credit, whether you're going to rent, whether you're going to buy, it's your, the credit affects everything. And when you and I first met months ago, and I still am so proud about how our community has really gravitated toward investing, using fintech to work, create a system, because the traditional financial system didn't give us access points. And that's such a beautiful conversation, and I'm glad we all had that so much. I don't want the importance of credit to get lost in the investing enthusiasm, because we did hear some stories about some people taking out their entire life savings, maxing out their credit cards to invest. And that's not the message. That's why we're trying to help you on all fronts. But credit is critical to every aspect of your life, your family's life, everything.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's very important for what you guys are talking about. One of the things I heard Angela E say is her dad had to co-sign for her apartment. Listen, my daddy said I ain't co-signing for nothing, Jack.
I didn't ask him. I didn't ask him.
You didn't ask you? Oh,
this is a good story.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if you think about it, it's like a lot of us come from situations where our parents' credit's not that great.
Right. So, my mom wasn't, and my dad was. And I actually was like, Mom, can you give me Dad's social security number? That's really how it happened.
Oh,
that's what you call a daddy's girl. She can get away with that.
And I did tell him after.
Right. After you got the spot. He listen, that to me, it's what you guys are doing is groundbreaking, and it doesn't cost that much. It's funny because some people who have really bad credit will still pay for the Netflix bill for $7 a month.
Right. And you're so right about that. And I want to say it really does also suck to have to ask somebody to co-sign for you, because people don't really want to, like, I don't want anybody calling me asking me to co-sign on anything for them. And so it does feel like a lot on you, like a burden to have to be like, hey, can you do me a favor and co-sign? I've seen family members fall out over things like that when one person co-signs for their cousin or for, another family member, and then that person is not responsible enough and not handling things. And now y'all not talking to each other and the whole family's divided over it. And they're like, just forgive them. And you're like, no, I got to pay this person's bill because they didn't pay it and I co-signed for it. That was so stupid of me to do that. We've seen that happen in marriages and in relationships. And so, credit is a really important thing. And it's nice to feel the freedom of saying, I can handle this myself. I don't need to call somebody and ask for them to co-sign for me.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's that.
I want to add something to since we're talking about co-signing and family members. It's a really important topic. I'll give you a quick preview of what's to come with Stellar. We're rolling out a family plan as well. So there, in the credit card space, there's a concept of authorized user, meaning that you can add anyone to your credit card, right? And it builds their credit. We're not a credit card, but in many different ways, there's similarities. And what we want to do, and what we're going to be doing pretty soon, is allowing you to add other people, minors usually, kids and so forth, to the account. For example, I have a 9-year-old, and he plays Nintendo Switch all the time and have a Nintendo subscription. And I was thinking, why not assign that Nintendo subscription to him, and that's going to start building his credit. And he can be on my account, and we can secure the privacy and all of his identity attributes with our security features. So all of that is not just safe and secure, but also building his credit. That said, it is advisable not to start too young to start building credit. But anyone 15 and over, I think it's a fair game. By the time they're 18, they have a robust profile. They can go off and borrow their own money without a cosigner.
Yeah, a lot of us had light bills in our names at a young age.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now that's another thing, right? It's like your credit's already messed up before you turn 16. It's messed up. Like, what is going on here?
That's a huge problem. Parents using their kids' credit. It's a huge problem.
Yeah, so we got a couple of our mods with us. Miss Charlene or Dr. Charlene. Miss Charlene or Mr. Jakumi. Do y'all have any questions for Stellify, like while you're listening?
Yeah, this is Charlene. I'd love to hear the inspiration behind the name.
That's a great question. I can take that. And there's a little bit of feedback there. All right, we're good now. So when I was thinking about Stellar initially as a concept, right? So it comes from a very personal place for me. I'm an immigrant, came to the US, had no idea how to navigate the system. And I, unsurprisingly, made a lot of dumb choices with my finances. And those things still haunt me to this day. And I always wanted to have a stellar credit. I sort of been fighting to have this, good credit score to be perceived as someone who's trustworthy, not just to access, capital, but also for like the employers to perceive me as someone who's, who is trustworthy and quote unquote good, and so forth. And stellar credit was that concept that's been floating around in my head. So from a branding perspective, we couldn't think of a better way to name the company. So we call ourselves Stellar Finance because we see ourselves something as a company that goes well beyond credit. Credit is where we started. What we want to do is we want to create a marketplace for folks to be able to qualify for things that can't qualify otherwise in a free market space. So loans, credit cards, lower insurance rates, everything that revolves around a credit score, we want to have on our platform eventually as a robust marketplace. So we called ourselves Stellar Finance and Stellify, as a kind of an abbreviated version for our users.
So let me ask this question really quickly, because Gaten Eaton president said, he said, is there a feature to project credit leverage within a time period? And I think someone answered. I think Stellify is working hard in the background. It says yes. Soon we'll provide credit simulation and credit projection tools so you can see how your spending habits will affect your credit. I think that's powerful. So we're talking about, this is roadmap now. This is roadmap, right? So how fast do you think that roadmap will come? Like, are you working on it right now? Is it going to be soon? Like, what are we looking at from a roadmap perspective?
Yeah, so our roadmap is pretty ambitious. We got a lot of different things, and we're trying to constantly weigh them against each other. Like, what is it that we want to release next? What goes after it? The tools, in fact, half of them are already live. If you go and sign up today, we do have a simulator tool, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me pull up my dashboard, make sure I'm not making stuff up. Give me a second. I will tell you what's in our.
Are you on the computer? Are you on the computer that has the dashboard? Do you want to show us some of this stuff? Are we gonna get some exclusive back end look at Stellify?
Elements finance.
All right. Let's do that. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, share your screen, and then
man,
we getting exclusive.
Against my better judgment, I'm going to show you my personal account.
That's what I listen.
Radical transparency.
Yeah, you can knock out whatever you need to knock out. But Jakumi, do you have any questions while we're doing that?
Wondering like what the age was going to be, because a lot of kids, they graduate in 16, 17 going to college. So when can they start with Stellify, or do they have to wait till they're 18?
Yeah, so the way we are currently handling the age, you have to be 18 to sign up for the main account, right? It's really important that we treat it just like any other financial instrument out there in that sense. However, with a family plan, what we're going to do, we're going to allow our users who are over 18 to sign up minors, usually family members. So that's how it's going to be structured age-wise. It's important to have a quote unquote what's considered to be legal adult as a primary account holder for various reasons, and then minors can be under that account if you have a child, maybe even a nephew or so forth, with close family.
Man, so listen, are you telling me that you're reversing the whole electric bill in your name? Now I'm putting credit in your. I guess it's the reverse. This is literally the reverse. Now the parent can actually use it. Oh, that's awesome. So listen, the guy who's asking all the tough questions, this is his next question. I want y'all to see this. Can I invest in Stellify?
That's the best question so far. I love it. So that's a great question. Right now, we already raised our seed round, and we want to make sure we're well funded and can support our customers and support growth. We're in a good place now. That said, we are thinking about a community round. Really let our customers invest, because there's nothing better than investing in your own future, right? And not just not through building your credit, but also investing in a company that helps you do that. We are thinking about it. I'll say that no timeline for it quite yet, but follow us. Obviously, sign up for our newsletter. If we do it, it's probably going to be sometime early next year, maybe mid next year. But I'd love to do that. That's one of my dreams. Really, is to let our customers, our own community, to participate in the upside. Right.
Hey, that's awesome. So not only is they helping you build your credit, but then you're going to invest in them because you're using. Man, come on. This is getting too circular here. Keeping that value within the community. Let's see. Somebody else asked a quick question. They said, "What is the difference from Experian Boost?" So evidently, Lamine knows about this. Go ahead, Lamine. It's a good. Hold on. Before you say something, Lamine, shout out to the Black Bitcoin billionaire Genesis Block people for these questions. It shows you what kind of quality of people. Somebody got somebody. It shows what kind of quality of people we have. Like real talk. It's just good stuff. So go ahead, Lamine. I just want to shout y'all out.
I love it. I love these questions. This fantastic questions. So the primary difference, there's a couple, but the primary difference is this. Experian Boost is a tool that looks at your transactions that are not necessarily credit transactions, your utilities, your rent, a bunch of other stuff, subscriptions sometimes, most of the time it's just utilities and rent, right? And what they're doing is they're then taking this data that is in your bank account, and then they're sending that to Experian to be considered for alternative credit history payments. And what happens, because what they're calling this is alternative, it goes into an alternative model. It is usually relegated specifically to FICO 8 score, just one score. And that FICO 8 is the only score that, or rather in this case, only lives in the Experian's ecosystem. So if I am, say, a car lender, and you come to borrow money from me for a car, and I pull your FICO 4, which is the most common model used by car lenders, and I pull it from TransUnion, everything Experian Boost collected on me and my history is not reflected there at all. And so if anything, you can be very disappointed to know that your score is 100 points lower, for example, right? In this case. What we do is something very different. We don't take your alternative attributes and then report them to one bureau. We actually don't report any alternative. We don't care what we pay in with Stellar. We are pretty agnostic. We pay whatever you link as long as it's a legitimate bill, and then we report your repayment back. So because of that, our reporting propagates into every single model across 3 bureaus, soon to be 4 bureaus, including Innovis. No one knows about Innovis, but they're pretty powerful in the credit card space. So when you go to borrow money for your house, for your car, for another credit card, they're going to see all of that in every single model. That is a radical difference. It is critically important to remember that most bill reporters or rent reporters or anyone who reports alternative data, it does not go into every single model that's used for credit decision.
And Lamine, correct me if I'm wrong. It's that key switch is that us paying bills on your behalf, because to the way the credit bureaus are looking at this, and they really are only looking at loan repayment and credit card repayment to come up with your credit score. But by you paying us and then us paying on your behalf, it looks like a credit card transaction. That's how you get full credit for it. Versus other groups saying, oh, Stacy paid her rent on time. Okay, that might make Stacy look better. But this transaction, you actually paid a loan back to Stellify. That's was the brilliance in his
Stacy,
founding vision.
Let me just butt in quickly because there are a couple of really important technical terms here. It's not a loan or a credit card. I'll go on a record and say that. It will not reflect as a loan or credit card on your report because that's not what we do. It is a spending line that's reported as line of credit on your report, right? Which has a very powerful impact on your score. So that is the fundamental difference, right? So it's really important to remember that we don't just look at your history and your linked bank account and say, hey, Stacy, Lamar have been paying their rent on time. Good on them. Let me push that information to the bureau or one of the bureaus or all the bureaus, and then hope that they'll, somehow plug it in somewhere. We don't care. We paying your stuff, and then we're saying when you repay us back, you're a good steward, right? You're someone who just repaid us as someone who lend you the money or gave you the money. Yeah, and so that's really, really important distinction. The bureaus like that because we have skin in the game, right? We're not just reporting someone else's data. We're reporting our own data. We go out there on a limb. We make those transactions on your behalf, knowing that you could not pay us back potentially, and because we do that, we can then report it reliably.
Something else Lamine touched on that's really important is so many people have said, wait, that my credit card statement tells me my credit score, and I have a 760 credit score, but I just went to get a mortgage, and the guy came out and told me I have a 500 credit score. What's up with that? And that's what he was talking about. There's different tiers. It's primarily FICO scores that are being looked at, and I believe there's 16 different FICO scores, and what a lot of people don't understand, different lenders look at different scores. The auto loan guys not looking at the same FICO that the home loan got the mortgage guys looking at. So, in our financial education component and in this goal-oriented approach to credit building, you're going to get a little bit of better understanding of if your goal is to buy a house, you need this kind of credit score to buy a house. But a lot of people don't understand. They're not all looking at the same thing, and I think that's really important to emphasize.
Right. So, like for retail credit, or for a house, or for a car, that they might be all looking at different FICO scores.
Right. I got a quick question for you guys. We got another great question. I'm gonna go to the audience again. It says, great opportunity. Noticing that a consumer will share a lot of information in regards to their livelihood. Will consumer information collected stay protected and not shared? Are you sharing this data?
Great question. So we're in a trust business, right? Fundamentally, what makes this thing go around is that consumers trust us. If we undermine their trust, we don't have a business. And because of that, we structured our business model to make sure that we don't share their data at all with anyone. In fact, we don't even store it in our system. The bank account data is stored in their bank. We use Plaid, like most fintech companies out there, that connect to their bank account, which means we don't touch it in our system. We just validate it. The credit data is stored with the bureaus. We don't store any of your credit data. It's stored where it's always been stored. What they do with it, it's a different story entirely. And so the way we monetize it, and someone asked that question, what's the catch, right? It's important to understand. It's important to be transparent about how we make money. We make money on the membership fees. We also make money on transactions. That's not charged to our customer. Basically, every time we make a payment to Netflix pays a certain percentage of that payment, because every single merchant wants to be able to accept cards. Every single merchant wants to also get paid on time, right? So they're incentivized to pay us. That's how we make money. We don't sell you data whatsoever. And we have no plans on selling your data because it's just not part of our business model.
Yeah, that model to me is making me want to invest right now. We need to talk.
You'll be talking to you, Lamar.
Yeah, we need to talk. I need to cut you a check right now. No, but this has been a great conversation. We don't want to take up too much more of you all's time. I'm trying to look to see if we have any other questions over here. Yeah,
I got a quick question. He mentioned Novus earlier. So is there going to be a way for, you know, small businesses to take advantage as well, or is this only going to be just for the individuals?
Man, music to my ears. But also, you forced me to reveal some of the roadmap items here. So the way we see this, small businesses have very much been part of the journey, right? Because small businesses in this country are people, right? They're not like some corporate entities. They're human beings trying to make it happen, right? They're either freelancers, mom and pop shops, and so forth, and they're using their personal credit to finance their operations. And we see that as a natural extension, you know, just tweaking a few features here and there, but really kind of capitalizing on the fact that when I get out there to start my online store, whatever it is, I'm going to use my credit profile to borrow money, right? I'm going to be responsible for all of that repayment, not my LLC. And so as a result, we want to help you manage that process really well. We don't have any plans to expand into like a real corporate enterprise type stuff ever, if I can help it. Not something I'm passionate about, but for the small SMBs, little tiny mom and pops, the freelancers, the gig workers who are using their personal profiles, yeah, we have a pretty, I would say pretty ambitious plans to help them out as well.
And that's so important because the number of reasons small businesses fail is because of the business owner's personal financial situation. And that was, you were asking me one of the things that inspired this whole journey for me. And that's, you know, our community is so filled with entrepreneurs. And this app, it's not an app, it's an initiative. This initiative really benefits anybody. It's a movement, and you know, I'm just very proud of that fact, and the fact that so many people will now have support and not somebody having their back when it comes to building a credit score.
Listen, y'all, I was coming into this excited, but now, like, yeah, it's just crazy. Somebody over on YouTube said that's exciting. Like, it's just a really cool way to go about it. I guess my only question is, and I think somebody else asked this. So let me hear it one more time. So there will not be any defaults because you will always be paying.
That's my question. I mean, you know, we talked about the upside. Let's talk about the downside. How do you guys manage defaults? Do you guys will you negotiate workout plans? You know, are you putting people in credit counseling if they have, you know, if they have issues? Because, you know, we hope for the best, but I'm sure you're planning for the worst.
Always planning for the worst, because inevitably it will happen, and we've seen it before. So to answer your questions, or the number one question here on defaults, can defaults happen? Yes, absolutely. Even with our system, we're designed to minimize the opportunity for defaults to happen by validating your bank account balance and transaction history. But at the same time, things happen, as I mentioned earlier. Like sometimes you may have a check out there. Maybe you have a family member who has access to your account, moves money last minute, whatever, right? We're not here to try to predict every single one of those outlier events, but they can happen. And we are designed to work with you to get through this. We're not a traditional creditor that's out there just to collect their money. We want to retain you as a customer. We want to help you because we know that this may be a trough of sorts for you, personally speaking. Then you come up on the other end, better, stronger, and then stay with us, right? Instead of leaving us. And so we want to work with you if you don't have enough money, and we'll give you plenty of time to pay us back, without coming after you. We don't have formal collections process, right? We will just shut your account down if we think you're a bad actor. But if we think you're a good actor, just in a bad place, we'll definitely work with you. There's definitely a caveat for fraud. If we identified something as 100% fraudulent, and there are many signals to that, and we're pretty swift around that one. But that's a different story. Does that answer your question? I know there's another part to it.
It does. No, that's perfect. I actually had another quick question. Around the world, systems of credit are quite broken. And so I know this product is really focused on the United States. Do you guys have any plans to move it overseas? Because, building a credit system across African countries would be a game changer. In Nigeria, people have to pay a full year's of rent to rent an apartment because the credit system is broken. So I'd love to hear if you have plans to expand this internationally.
Absolutely. That's the short answer. So my father's Tunisian, from North Africa, and I grew up as a child. I spent a lot of time in Tunisia. My mother's from Azerbaijan, from West Asia. So I've had a ton of international exposure. I lived in a bunch of different places, and I recognize that what we're solving here is not unique to the United States at all. It is very much a human problem across the globe. In some countries, it's worse than others. There is, to be honest with you, complexity with different ways different countries manage credit systems. And so the way we're thinking about this, we're thinking that countries that make sense for us as early sort of adopters of our product are countries that already have TransUnion, Experian, Equifax as credit bureaus, because that's who we work with at the moment. And these are all of the Commonwealth countries, right? We can go to Canada tomorrow if we wanted to. We can go to UK tomorrow if we wanted to. We can go to Australia, New Zealand tomorrow. But what we want to do is we want to learn a few lessons with these easy countries because they're already set up on those credit bureau systems. And then we're going to start looking at other countries and trying to figure out how their bureaus operate. And all we have to do is have access to those bureaus and have access to their banking system, right? Those are the two things we have to solve for, because otherwise the bills are bills. If you pay your bills with a card, if you pay your bills with a bank account, we can be in any geography for that matter. So that is a longer version of saying yes, that we definitely have plans.
Thank you very much, man. So quickly, I just want to do this really fast because we cannot leave without you all understanding what the dopest Bitcoin conference in the world is. It's the Blackout Conference in Charlotte, North Carolina. Y'all listen, I'm gonna tell you what. Y'all done been to Bitcoin conferences, and when I started, I was like the only black person at a Bitcoin conference speaking. Now we have over 15 experts in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and NFTs and whatever else you want to know about this. And guess what? The majority of them are black. Now, I'm not saying we don't have other people who are not black, but guess what? We have changed the game with the black Bitcoin billionaires, because before there were nobody hardly saw any black experts. And within a short span of 2 years, this conference is going to be full of them. So I just want to make sure while we're here, we take a pause for what they used to call station identification. You know what I'm saying? And make sure y'all check out, if you on Twitter, the link's right above your head. We use text messages for everything. You'll get your ticket directly to your text message. This is how we've been doing events forever. We not only have the Blackout event that comes up in September, which will be September the 2nd through the 4th in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here's the other part about it. It's going to be such a crazy, amazing cultural event because the Duke Mayo Classic, which is the rivalry game between North Carolina Central and North Carolina A&T, is happening the same weekend a few blocks down. So
baby.
it's going to be crazy. Listen. You know what? We're trying to get some other people on the docket. This is our very first conference. A lot of people are asking for it. We already got a bunch of tickets sold. So appreciate everybody who bought your tickets. And I'm telling you, this is a small. We didn't go into a huge venue at first. It's kind of like what my guys did down at InvestFest. They didn't go 12,000, 20,000 the first year. They got about 4,000 or 5,000 the first year. We didn't go to a large venue, so you better get your tickets or you might not make it in. So just make sure y'all come check out the Blackout. This is the first huge conference, the dopest Bitcoin conference. Now, my man Sinclair Skinner, shout out to him. He has the Black Blockchain Summit that happens at the end of the week. At the end of the month of September. So we basically making September Black Bitcoin month. So just let y'all know that the whole month of September is Black Bitcoin month. And for every person out here who didn't know that black people and people of color are in this space, we in this space, baby. That's all I'm gonna say. And we did it. Look, Charlene, Jacumi, Naja, Zay, we did it. Like, we literally are here. When we started this, wasn't nobody doing this. Now you go and look, it's about to be crazy. Shout out to Tej, shout out to Spoon, all the cats that are coming through to talk about these NFTs, because we're going to talk about it because our community talks about NFTs. But we're going to give you the real and the truth about NFTs. Not all of this fugazi stuff that y'all hearing out here. So thank y'all, man. That's my station identification at the end of this. Lamine, Stacy, Angela, listen. Thank y'all for coming out. Look, we give y'all air
Mark, can I ask you one favor, please? Please direct your audience. Today, we started a 5-day.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me set that up. There is a 5-day credit challenge on Stellify. I was trying to get to that at the very end, so we leave with that. So, Stacy, tell us about that dang on 5-day challenge, please.
You can go to stellarfi.com/5-day challenge. And every day we're going to be dropping a video on Angela's Facebook page. It's going to give you a challenge. Today, for example, for the first day, we're going to help you look at some of the credit biases, some of the things that may be held against you in the credit world. You always have to know how the world sees you. You're going to learn how to set goals. You're going to learn how to open a Stellarfi account. By the end of the week, you're going to be signed up for your free one-on-one credit counseling session with our partners at NFCC. So this challenge starts today, stellarfi.com, 5-day challenge, and it's all on Team Yee, Angela Yee's Facebook page, but we're really excited about it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to bring it up. Is 5-day challenge, no spaces? I mean, no dashes or anything?
Correct. Stellarfi.com/5-day challenge.
Because I want to put the site up, let everybody see it.
And it's
But
the
I'm
number
going-
5, right?
The number 5. Got you.
Yeah, the number. Thank you, Angela. See?
Thank you, Angela. See,
It's always coming.
teamwork make the dream work out here. That's what's going on. So
Yeah.
let me make sure I share that. There you go.
Hey.
So 5-day challenge is stellarfi.com, and I'll make sure I put that down in so everybody can see it. Stellarfi.com, 5-day challenge. Make sure y'all go check it out.
And if you scroll down, you'll see each day you're going to have a video and an activity, and we're just really excited about this. And this is if you're like, oh, I didn't start this today, you can actually go and start this any day. But we're doing it together. We're going to be dropping stuff on Angela's Facebook page starting today, and it's out there now. But by the end of the week, you will be well on the road to a better credit experience and consequently a better life trajectory.
So awesome, man. Y'all out here giving free
Lamar,
education.
you put that in the Jumbotron on Twitter?
Yeah, let me put it. Yeah, see, I got to do it on everywhere. Hold on. Y'all got me working out here. I got to get a producer. I've been doing this for myself so long. I got to get me a producer out here, man. Yeah, let me put this in the Jumbotron on Twitter. Let's see. Thank you, Jakumi, for saying that, man. But listen, this is free education. If you don't understand how credit works, make sure you get on here. Like, I know, look, let's see something. Let's see if we can play this video.
The
People at home
Stellarfi
can
Credit
hear this.
Building
Yeah, go
platform
ahead.
has launched, and we are kicking it off with a 5-day challenge that will help you take
People
the
on
right
Twitter, y'all
steps
can't hear it. Y'all
toward
got to go
achieving the
watch
credit
it later.
score you need in order to live the life you want. You can find the entire series here on my Facebook and at stellarfi.com/5-day challenge.
Awesome. Listen, y'all, this has been a great day. It actually surpassed my expectations. I knew Stellarfi was gangster, but y'all have proved to be the American gangster. This is the truest gangsters like platform I've ever seen. And that's just really dope, man. I really like what y'all doing. I really support what you guys are doing. You're making it easy for people to build credit. You're taking the taboo away from credit, and it's a amazing thing. So shout out to everybody who's out here doing it. Lamine, thanks for founding it. Stacy, Angela, thank you guys for coming in, partnering up with this and letting the world know about it. This has been an amazing Genesis block. It's a very special one. I thought we were going to go without any hitches, but we still have, listen, we got to still build more tools to connect all of these. I'm the only person out here trying to connect every single one of these platforms together. But we gonna figure it out, man. I appreciate y'all coming on. If y'all have any last words, like they say in church, we got closing remarks from the pastor, doxology, and benediction. So, Lamine, Stacy, Angela, we want to hear y'all's final remarks, and then we'll get up out of here.
I'll kick it off. So my final remarks are these. So we're starting out here with credit building. We're going to build a platform that's going to help you access any capital you want. But just remember, we also have rewards for bills. And so in the long run, if you're using Stellarfi to pay your bills, it's actually going to be cheaper to pay your bills through Stellarfi than paying them directly. Because every time you're going to pay a bill, you're going to earn some rewards. So these are my final remarks. And thank you again for having me.
I just want to give a huge shout out to the Stellarfi blog team. That's another amazing benefit of being in our community. Incredible information, incredible stories. They do a great job. And again, all of us are just here because we believe that you should not have to have credit to build credit. And we're on a journey with you to make sure that we all thrive and that we're in this together.
And I just want to say that I'm excited to be involved in this with Lamine, who has such an amazing track record already in this world of tech and finance, and of course Stacy as well. And I've been on both sides of things. I've been on the side where my credit was awful, terrible, couldn't do anything. So it's great to be have made it through. And I wish I would have had something like Stellar Fi when I was younger. But that's why I'm really excited to be part of it. I know how difficult it can be. So anything that I think is beneficial to our community and to people, I'm happy to be part of.
And listen, I just want to say this. I'm going to be partnering with these people as well. When we get off of this phone call, hey, listen, I'm looking y'all dead in the camera. Somebody better give me a call so I can write them a check. No, but really, this has been an amazing day. And as we always say in Black Bitcoin Billionaire, we are just trying to elevate and make sure that in this space of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and financial literacy, that we continue to elevate voices that look like us, because a lot of times you can't be what you can't see. So with that said, as I always say, live love, love life. If you live love, you'll love your life. And I will see you in the hallway.